have a special guest on tonight. It is my boy, my brother, my dog. Trey is in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, what's up, brother? What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good, man. You doing good?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. You feeling good?
I'm feeling good, man. Right, long day, but I made it here. That's all that matters.
Listen. It's all about the pressing, right? Yes, you know, sometimes in life you gotta press to get to the things that you want to get to.
Right.
And some seasons are pressing season. I feel like I'm in a pressing season. I know you're in the pressing season, but in the long run, it's gonna all be good. It's gonna all be good. So listen, so we are continuing our conversation. Before I get started, my brother Elvis, love you, man. Appreciate you so much. He normally hosts Faith Talks with me, but his schedule had a lot going on this month, and so I said, you know what, it's all good. Let's bring a guest in. He knows Elvis, and so you know they're both in my wedding. My wedding's in October, and so you know it just made sense to bring my brother on to hold it down while Elvis can be here. But I know Elvis is watching. Love you, man. Appreciate you and grateful for you. But let's get into this conversation, man. We're talking about letting go and what that looks like, and so we started it last month, but we had to cut it short, and it was starting to get to a good place. And so I know for you, you've had to let go of some things in life to just better your walk with Christ, to just become a better man and to become a better business owner, because he is a business owner. I don't know if you can see this physique that he got going on, but he trains people and things of the nature. But what was your process of letting go?
First off, just recognizing what needs to be done, just knowing what I wanted for myself. And it took a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, nothing that's good comes easy. So I knew that it was gonna be tough, but it was gonna be worth it. But the process was pretty good. It got me to a better place. Some things I had to let go. Some people, some addictions, some bad habits. So I mean, it brought me to who I am now. So I can't regret it.
Yeah, and me knowing you before the transition of Trey, because Trey is one who has an amazing heart. Trey is one that will do anything for anybody. Trey is one that loves hard, that supports anybody who knows Trey know that about him. But the maturity that you have become now is like crazy. Like he is so much more mature in this season of his life, and I think it's because you properly assess your life before letting things go. And I think that it's important for you to assess what's going on in your life before you just start cutting things. And so what was that process like, to sit back and be real with yourself, look at your life and say, all right, this right here, I gotta let go. This person right here definitely can't be with you no more or hang out with you no more. So what was that like?
I mean, it took some trials and tribulations, and it took some hard choices, but the process of assessing the things I had to let go, it was pretty tough, man. I mean, it just had to be done. I mean, I know I wanted for myself, like I said earlier, but it's a process, man.
Yes, because I know it's hard to face you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to see what's going on with somebody else, but it's really hard to see what's going on with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To reflect and think about what are the things that I need to let go in order for me to accomplish. You know, so what was hard about focusing on you? And I'm gonna talk about myself too, but what was the hard part about really sitting down and looking at yourself?
Putting myself in uncomfortable positions, for one, because I knew that would make me a better person and structure me to be like the person I wanted to become. Just doing things I didn't want to do. It was like a trickle-down effect. So I would do one thing that I didn't want to do, and then I would just start doing a lot of things. Not things that I didn't want to do per se that's like not good for me, but they were good for me. But the current situation I was in, I knew that I had to make those rational decisions to, you know, get to where I wanted to get. So it was a tough journey along the way, but you know. Yeah.
And so for me, just to be transparent, what I had to do in my reflection time was what was beneficial and what was killing me.
Yeah, exactly.
So some things in people and habits were beneficial, but the things that weren't, let's say, you know, I did something and it caused me stress, or I went to that as a way of releasing stress per se. But for real, it was adding stress. And so I think just becoming real with the fact of this does not bless me. Like this does not serve as a positive thing in my life. So understanding, okay, I'm doing this, but is it beneficial?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also with people, like I love hard. You know that.
Yeah.
I support people. I help them. I don't care what you need. You can ask me. I'm going to try to figure out. I'm going to try to get it. But then I had to learn, do you really value me?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Are you cool with me because of what I offer you? Are you cool with me because you genuinely care about me? Mm-hmm. So what was it like when you had to cut some people off in your life? Like when you had to let go of toxic relationships that weren't beneficial to you?
That's a tough question because when you think about it, like the people that that are not good for you, at the moment everything seems so good because you're having fun. Mm-hmm. It's stuff that you like to do, but it's not productive for your overall aspect of life. Yeah. And that's not somebody that's gonna push you forward that wants the best for you. So just the process of cutting people off, I just had to categorize them and put them, not per se cut them off, but put them in different categories of friends, knowing that I can come to you for this and I can come to you for that, but I couldn't put everybody and give everybody that same aspect of my vulnerability. So it was just a matter of just having good discernment of this person's good for going on vacation, or this person's good for talking about relationships, this person's good for talking about sports. Yeah. So I wouldn't say per se let people go because I'm a hard lover too, like you. Yeah. I just value friendships, and I give everybody the benefit of the doubt unless you really just prove me wrong. So just putting people in those different sections helped me out a lot, and it didn't worry me about just cutting somebody completely off. Because that's a tough thing to do, especially when you have a lot somebody for a long time and y'all got a lot of chemistry and stuff like that. So that can get tough as well. Man, just surrounding yourself around better people, I could say as well too. Like I think I said that already, but just to capitalize on that, just surround yourself around better people. You can see different aspects of yourself, and people can show you different things that you didn't know you can do. People can believe in you certain ways that the people that is not really good for you can't. Yeah. And sometimes it takes for you to go step outside those boundaries and meet different people to understand that the people that you were running with the whole time wasn't really the best for you. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, you got to really put yourself in those uncomfortable positions, and you're gonna come out and see the light eventually. But it's gonna be tough because, like I said, everything is fun, everything is going good, and they say what's good for you, not really good for you, but it feels good. You know what I mean? But we think it's good, but it's not really good for us. But man, it was tough. So
and I think for me, it's a little different. So one thing that we're similar in the fact of I have people in different categories. Yeah. So I have my work group. Right. You know what I'm saying? We talk about some personal things, but we ain't gonna kick it. We're not gonna hang it. We not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Keep it professional. Yeah. We might go, out to eat, whatever the case may be, but that's pretty much it. Then I have associates. So those are people that kind of friends, but not really. Like when life really get rough, I'm not running to you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you can't provide that. But then I have my roots, like my friends that I know. They're not even friends; they're considered family. Like I call a brother, like you. Those are my people that I know 100%. Okay, what's going on? And 90% of the time, they can feel something going on with me, and they'll hit me up. Yo, like what's going on? Right. Those people right there can't be touched. I don't care what kind of disagreements we have. I don't care what kind of. I've never really fallen out with people, but we don't see eye to eye. We might have a little moment where we have a little space, and then we come back together, whatever the case may be. But those are my A1s, like 100%. So anybody outside of that, I don't mind letting go. And I don't mind letting go because we said this in the last episode, because some people are seasonal.
Yeah, that's true.
And so if they're seasonal, you just got to be aware when the season's up. And I think I used the analogy of my A1 are my roots, like the roots of a tree. Mm-hmm. They're not going nowhere. Seasons can change, things happen, but they're not going nowhere. Mm-hmm. But them leaf and little twigs, they die, they fall off, they move on. Those are the seasonal people. So I think it's really important for us to not put so much weight in people that are seasonal.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, for sure.
How can you determine if someone is ready to be let go of, opposed to just giving them some more time to grow like you did with me?
For sure. So I think they have to show you that they want the relationship. Mm-hmm. And whether it's a friend, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a significant other, if you don't show me that you want me in your life, it's easy to let you go. So like, we about to be real transparent. So I was going to ease that way, but I said, hold on, let me take my time. So Trey had a season where he had to find himself. Yeah. Trey, he had to find himself. And so Walt is one, I'm going to push you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to call. We're going to pray together, things of that nature. And Trey got to a point where that wasn't what he wanted in a season. Honestly. And so because he didn't want that in a season, he backed off. Trey ghosted me. It's okay. It's okay. Because it's the reality of my story. And so, how many years? Was it 1 year? Was it 1 whole year?
Yeah, it was going about a year, yep.
Yeah, so a whole year, Trey didn't speak to me. He didn't text, he didn't whatever. But I never stopped praying for you because I knew what was happening, even though you didn't say it to me, because of discernment. So I knew you was going to come back around. Was I pissed? Absolutely. Was I irritated? Absolutely. But I know the foundation that was built. Right. And so you did whatever, whatever the case may be. I don't even remember how we got reconnected. I don't even remember. Do you remember?
Yeah, I had this feeling over me, man. I was always talking to like my clients. I was talking to my friends, my significant other. I was just telling everybody like, he hate when I say it, but I like my mentor. It's my brother though, but I'm like, I miss him, man, and I just feel like I abandoned him and I ghosted him, and everybody always tell him like, nah, he's still there for you. Just hit him up, and then people would check up. You hit your mentor up? You talk to your mentor? I'm like, nah. And then one day it was a Sunday. It was in January, and then this year, and I was just like, I woke up and I was just like, wow, something came over me, God. Yeah. And it was like, just reach out to Walter. And I just reached out, and here we are now. Yeah. So
and so I knew that I wasn't letting you go because you were in a season. You were in a season trying to find yourself. You was in a season rediscovering who you are in Christ and whatever the case may be. And so I respected that. You know what I'm saying? I could have been selfish, and I would say 25-year-old me, 24-year-old me, I would have been done. It would have been no, because one thing about me, when I close the door, there's no reopening. Because I give so much. So when I get to a point where I feel like I don't have no more to give, I'm going to value myself before I outgive and then be a doormat. So exactly. So I wasn't going to do that. But I knew it wasn't me. And I think we have to realize when it's us that's causing the issue and when it's not us. Yeah. And then for me, I knew that I didn't do anything. No. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? And so it was just time for me to, all right, God, do what you got to do. Right. Speak to him. Let him know Walt is right here. I haven't gone nowhere. And then what happened?
You was right there when I called on you.
Right there. And
just like you always been.
Yeah. So. And it has never stopped. It has never ended. And so it's the fact that you wanted me in your life. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As a friend, as a brother. And so that's how I know somebody wants to be there. If I tell you there's something that you do that I don't like and you constantly do it, you don't care enough about me. If I express, hey, it's a few things that, make me uncomfortable or it's disrespectful when you do that and you constantly do it, like you didn't hear that I mentioned that, that's not a good relationship.
Yeah, it's not considering the other person.
It's not. And a relationship is give and take. I don't care what the relationship is. So if you don't value the person enough to take what they have said and change your ways to respect them, it's not beneficial. It's not beneficial. And so that is how I know when to let someone go. Because I had to do it in my own life. And it's been some people that I didn't want to let go. But I had to for my own sanity. I had to for my own safe space. And so, that's what I would say.
So you just ghosted them or you just
No. Oh, I always end with a conversation.
Okay.
I think it's very important for you to end relationships with a conversation, not a text.
Yeah.
A conversation. Because the conversation allows for you to open up your emotions, open up the situation, open up what's going on, and for them to see it.
Mm.
I can't see your emotions in the text.
You're right, you can't.
And a lot of times people take text, exactly, they take it the wrong way completely. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I always end with a conversation.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a time where you was planning on to let someone go and you had that face-to-face conversation and you didn't understand where it was coming from until that time y'all had that conversation and you changed your mind upon having a conversation like, you know what? I didn't know that, but dang, we can try this again. Like we can try to work this out.
For sure. And that's why it's important to have a conversation. So my best friend Desmond, we've never gotten an argument like our entire lives, but it came to a point where he went to college, I went to college. Well, actually, he did PG for a couple of years, and then he went to FAMU. I went to college right after high school, so I went to Virginia. So I was in Virginia, and he was in Florida. And so when I left, I still stayed in contact. When he left, there was no contact.
Yeah.
Like he didn't talk to me because he was living college life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody at home really didn't. He didn't really connect with, and it hurt me because I'm like, yo, we've known each other since middle school. Like, this is crazy. Like, where you at? And so I was done. I'm constantly calling you. I'm constantly reaching out, and he wasn't giving me nothing. And I'm like, yo, we've never had an argument. We've never had none of that. Like, why now? And so it wasn't until right before he graduated, we had a conversation, and he expressed, Walt, I was living so much that I couldn't deal with a preaching friend. Because you were convict. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You would say things that I know I needed to hear, but I didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
So I just avoided you completely.
Wow. I can probably attest to that. I mean, not attest, but agree with that.
Yeah. And so for me, I respected his truth of where he is. Right. Because you got to understand, everybody's not where you think they are. No. That's why that conversation is important. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we had that conversation and he expressed to me where he was, I was able to receive him fully. Yeah. And we still best friends, today. Yeah. And so
sometimes you got to get to that low state to like really understand somebody and really just put it all to the side and, just get to a better place. Yeah. We got to get low to get up there sometimes. Yeah. And it takes that, it's no good without bad. And sometimes we just got to go through those tough times and just really get that real bond.
Yeah. Yeah. And I literally just preached yesterday. I talked about 1 Peter chapter 5, where Peter talked about after you suffered a little while, then God will perfect, he'll restore, he'll establish, and he will provide for you. And so sometimes in relationships you have to suffer, because it's in the suffering of the relationship that you really learn who your friend is. Mm-hmm. It's in the disagreements that you really learn who is this person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's in those rough moments that builds that foundation. So like for us, you doing that, it built something in us.
It definitely did.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like we closer now than we ever were. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I agree. And it's because there was a little suffering. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was irritated. You had your moment, whatever the case may be. But if we did not have that suffer, I don't think our foundation would be good.
I agree. True.
Yeah, true. Truly. And so, yeah, man. So I do want to ask you, what were some of the difficulties that you faced after you let go of what you were so accustomed to?
Just like having the feeling of going back. I can give you a prime example. Back in 2018, I had to let go of going to school in New Hampshire to go to school in Maryland, because I initially went to school in New Hampshire my freshman year, had a situation, things got cleared up, but by that time I already made my mind up to go to another school because it was such a prolonged period of time that I couldn't wait. Mm-hmm. And people begged me to come back, like my coach and stuff like that, and people that was at the school that was begging me to come back. But
because you was playing football.
Yeah. And I was just such a known figure at the school that people just appreciated my presence there. Just but I knew for a fact that if I know as a man, I'm sorry I gotta go there, but as a man, once you make your decision, whether it's to let go, to stay, you gotta stick on your decision. And that's probably the hardest thing to like stick on what you say and what actions you're going towards, because you can feel different later on, and you gotta stand on how you feel. That's why it's good to like really let all your emotions go before you start to think about like making those tough decisions under angry emotion or something like that. You want to really get yourself together, take some time to think about it, maybe even talk to somebody, and just make the right decision of letting go. It's a tough one, but you really gotta just stick to it and just stay to your word, stay to yourself. Because if you don't, you just lying to yourself, and you're looking less of a credible person and a person of integrity. Because how can I trust you if you're saying one thing how you feel and then you're saying something else?
Man, let me tell you something. One of the biggest things for me, and y'all know I've said it like 50,000 times on this podcast, is consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency to me writes the story. If you are not consistent, you're not credible.
Right.
Like, I cannot take any of your word if you're not consistent. Because what consistency says is no matter what's going on, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what I'm facing, I'm going to do it. And so just to shift the conversation a little bit. So one thing about when you become a true believer, I don't like using the word Christian because I feel like Christian is more religious.
Yeah.
But being a believer of Jesus Christ is like, that's your life. Like you live that thing, you walk that thing, you talk that thing. And so one thing about being a believer is letting go. Right. Mm-hmm. So the Bible declares, forgetting those things that are behind me, and I press towards the mark. Right. So I forget what's behind me and I press towards. So the forgetting behind means that anything that happened in the past, I have to let it go and forget it.
Yeah.
A lot of times we let go, but we still remember.
Yeah.
We remember how it felt. We remember how it brought certain people around. We remember how it was more of a carefree time. But the pressing forward, it ain't always comfortable. It's not always crowded. Sometimes it feels lonely when you're pressing forward. And so we have to constantly remind ourselves that we have to not only let go, but forget it.
Yeah.
Because if your mind is constantly going back on what was, you can't be consistent in going forward.
I think with a big key with forgetting is forgiving.
Yes.
And that's a thing that we really don't do, because
you hear that?
We always want to hold a grudge on people and just like show them how tough we are and how much we don't go like that and stuff like that, and show them our attitude that I can cut people off and let them go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said earlier, I had a conversation with that person, because that just signifies that you forgive them for one, for what they did, and two, that like you're willing to let go on peaceful matters. Yeah. So like just truly forgiving somebody, like truly telling yourself I forgive them, even telling them I forgive you if they hurt you, that really sets the implants the factor of like letting go and just forgetting it, you know. So I think that's a big piece.
Yeah, and one thing that God does to us, he casts our sin into the sea of forgetfulness.
Right.
He literally casts it in a sea of forgetting. So if he does that, we got to do it towards other people. And I know I live that thing because I have been hurt by numerous amount of people. I mean, the list is long. People that I was 100% dedicated to in ministry, in family, relationships. I mean, the whole 9 yards. But one thing about me, if any of them call me today, it's no problem for me to help and assist. It depends on the parameters, though, right? Mm-hmm. I ain't just doing anything. Mm-hmm. But I have never had a problem with going back to people that I have cut off. And when I cut off, it's a sense of you don't have the same availability in my space.
Right. Yeah.
The relationship looks completely different. But I don't have no problem going to support you.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem if I see you to speak to you. I'm not going to avoid you. We're not going to be ace boom coon by any means necessary. But I have forgiven you and I've moved on. I don't think you can go forward if you don't forgive.
Yeah.
Because then you walk in circles.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So if you do go about it that way and you do go support and you forgive someone, you go support, do they have the space to make up what they did? Because like you said, we're forgiven. I mean, people deserve second chances as well.
Yeah.
But like, how do we know when to like let somebody back in when if they deserve it or not? Like, have they changed enough?
Yeah.
Like,
they gotta prove it. Actions.
Consistency.
And so you said it before I can answer. If their actions don't show that, I can't believe it. Because words are cheap.
Right.
You can say a whole lot of stuff, and it's like, man, okay, bet. But then your action is completely opposite.
Right.
So I call it word ministry. You just talking.
I call it hypocrites.
That's a whole other conversation, okay? But yeah, man, if you're not walking what you're saying, it means nothing to me. Because I have supported people, I forgive you, I come, and then you do the exact same thing.
Right.
So guess what? I'm going to support you from a distance now.
Right.
Because you don't value me enough. It is so important to know your value. And I think a lot of people don't value them. They either value themselves or they value themselves too much. They either don't or they do too much.
There's no balance.
There's no balance. And I think that you have to have a balance. I need to value myself but also be humble.
Yep.
I'm not the greatest of all time. There's no such thing as the goal. The only one is Jesus Christ. He is the only one that is the greatest of all time. I am the greatest trying to be the greatest of all time.
Right.
I'm the greatest at trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I have not obtained what it is that I want to become or what it is that I believe in God is calling me to do. And I think humility goes a long way with receiving someone back. Are you humble enough to take the look at who you are, what it is that you need to forget, what it is that you need to let go, what it is that you need to forgive so that you can embrace my needs. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a give and take.
Yeah.
If you can't give nothing, you just take. That's dangerous.
They're just pouring it out somebody else's cup and they're not pouring back into your cup.
So let me tell you why that point is so good. So yesterday, I at the end of the sermon yesterday, I talked about how the process of grapes, right? So grapes get plucked from a vine, they get put in a barrel, they get crushed, and then from there they turn into grape juice. The grape juice gets put in the wine, that wine is stored. That wine can be stored for
years.
5 years, it can be 45 years.
Right.
And so the longer it sits there, the better and the more expensive the wine is. Because wine is better with time.
Yep.
So the older the wine is, the better it is and the stronger it is. And the more expensive it is. And so yesterday I talked about how I'd rather be $1,000 wine where I can only pour just a little bit of myself, because if I give you too much, you can't handle it.
Ooh.
So my perspective now is I'm not going to pour myself empty into one cup, because number one, you can't afford it. And number two, it'll make you drunk.
Wow.
So it's important for me to understand the value that I have. So I'm only going to pour a little bit. That's all you get. This is your measure. Deal with that. And then when you need time to re-up, come on back. But I think you have to set that boundary for yourself. I can't pour everything into everybody all the time, because then guess what? What you got left for you?
None.
Nothing.
You relying on yourself, and nobody got your back like you have everybody else's. So that's a tough place to be in right there.
Yeah, and then depression sits in, and then anxiety sits in, because you're running on fumes when everybody got a piece of your $1,000.
That goes back to saying we gotta have a balance. You know.
Yeah. So how do you balance yourself, Mr. Because his schedule is insane. His schedule is insane. So how do you balance? Because you pour, let me tell you something about Trey. Trey pours into his clients. Trey pours into any person. If he sees somebody on the street, like, this is no lie. If Trey sees somebody on the street and he feel a vibe, he's going to stand there and talk to them until he has to run to do his next thing, because that's the type of person he is. Trey is one of those people where I could just be working and I'll get a text and Trey will say something, I'll be like, that is my dog. Like how did you even feel that? And so how do you balance yourself to make sure you're not pouring too much?
First, I give all glory to God.
Truly.
For all the strength and empowerment that I need every day.
Yeah.
I pour into myself by connecting with family. Always, like, I'm an expressive person. So just as much as I'm receptive to people, I'm also expressing back to the right people, obviously.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I got a couple good outlets. Just spending time with, like I said, with family, with friends, taking time to myself.
That's it.
Really just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. I can watch TV all day. Enjoying nature, watching sports.
Yeah, I was waiting for that one.
Working out, of course. I work out pretty different, so my workouts take a lot of
I see him.
a lot of focus. It's training most likely. It's not more like weightlifting. It's a lot of focus, a lot of concentration, a lot of mind-body connection, and just learning stuff, new things. I pour into myself by always learning too. Podcasts, books, trying new things, learning new stuff about myself. Like I said earlier, going out and doing things that I'm not used to doing, and doing things I'm uncomfortable with doing. That refuels me, because that's making me a new person, and that's replenishing me as well. And it's a number of things. I just like to, help. The most important thing, I think, me pouring to other people and helping, knowing that's my God-given talent, that just like fulfills me so much. And I think that alone, just going to just help, whether it be with a client, with my mom, with my best friends, it just fulfills me with that joy that nothing else could compare to. So it's just a balance of everything, man. Just got to be like a big cycle.
And I think that it's important for you to know what you like.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, because you do so much to please everybody else and to serve everybody else, that you don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, you can get lost in the pouring. Literally, you're just so used to being like this. This is all you do. So being still is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Not being booked and busy is a problem.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Not being needed is a problem. And I think that becomes problematic. When you feel like you always have to be needed, that's really scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary because then you don't see value in yourself to be with yourself.
Right.
So like me this weekend, I know my fiance Caprice was not feeling it, but I told her, I said, I need today to do nothing. On Saturday, I said, our place is the entertainment place. Everybody come to us. I don't want nobody here. I said it.
Respect that.
I said, I want to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
And do nothing. I had to finish my sermon on Saturday, but I literally did not want to do nothing. And so we're in the course of planning a wedding, whatever. And so her and our wedding decor person came to the house, and they had all these little table settings that they wanted. And so I had to be quiet, let them do their thing. Yeah. It was interrupting my Zen time of nothing, but I let them do what they did. And then they went out, and I called her. I was like, hey, y'all still coming back? And she was just like, yeah, we plan on coming back. And I was just like, okay. I ain't say nothing, but she felt my spirit, right? I didn't have to say. She called me. She said, hey, we're not going to come back. Enjoy the place to yourself. Do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. I'll see you tomorrow. When I tell you, that was like her making love to me. You hear me? Because I needed just to be with myself. Yeah. Not to do nothing, but simply to not do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Things you do to recharge.
So I love hiking. I love going hiking. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hiking, shopping, 100%.
Oh my God, that's our thing.
Yeah, you already. You already know. Train out. We love clothes. Like we listen. I think one of the first things we did, we ate and we went shopping. Because going out to eat, love going out to eat. And anything fun, I don't care if it's bowling, I don't care if it's bike riding, anything that is highly energetic in the sense of, it could be kayaking. I love to travel. So those things refuel me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because giving to people, even though it's my craft, it's what I love to do, that's 100% what I'm called to do, I get tired.
We all do.
Sometimes I don't want to pour into you. I just want to have fun.
Nah, you're
I
right.
just want to get on some roller coasters and lose my voice and just like I love highly energetic things. I'm a highly energetic person. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I like to do. To be around people that love me.
Yeah.
Just me, not what I can do for them, not what I represent, not whatever position I have, whatever it is, but they love want for want. That right there is how I refuel. And of course, you know, I'm trying to get back into reading. I ain't gonna sit here and say that I read. I used to read all the time. After COVID, when we could go back outside, I ain't picked up a book. And I am convicted. When you said it, I was like, all right, God, I hear you. To get back into reading because I used to love it. I used to read all the time. Life got busy and whatever the case would be. I'm like, I'll get to it. I got 3 books right now that I need to open. Because I was such an avid reader. I would literally read 3 books at one time. Like, that's how much I love to read. And I teach reading. Like, I teach reading and don't read. And so, you know, I got to get back into it. But yeah, that's how I refuel myself is doing the things that I like.
Yeah, bro, that's good, man.
And I ain't been shopping in a minute. So it's I did a little bit a couple weeks ago, but it's time to really go to Tyson's and do a little something.
He said Tyson's.
that is my mom. I know this ain't got nothing to do with Let Go, but I love Tyson's.
I could relate it to Let It Go. One thing I had to let go of just as far as fashion, just stop trying to get things that's like trends and like trying to keep up with everybody and get things that I really want. Because I used to be really big on, you know, getting designer and having all the Jordans and just always staying on top of things. Even my car, I got a Camaro because I wanted it as a social status. I mean, I had to let go of those things for the betterment of myself because I had to realize that stuff was not making me happy. It was trying to like look cool for somebody else, and truly it wasn't making me happy. It was just it was just fulfilling false narratives. Yeah. So at the end of the day, once I came to that realization that I'm going to do this for myself and I don't care what I have on or what I drive, I know who I am solely as a human being. Yeah. Life got so much like stressless and easy. Yeah. So
and it's so much better to buy what you want because of what you want.
Yeah.
That's how I shop.
You value it more.
Absolutely. Anything I got, I don't care who like it. I don't buy anything to flaunt or for status. I am status. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you carry yourself in such a way, it don't matter anything you put together is gonna look dope because you are who carry it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so for me, I buy what I want because I like it.
My dad had this saying he always used to say, the clothes don't make you, you make the clothes.
Absolutely.
Like you can go put on some thrift store clothes and you still look like you got on a $1,000 outfit.
I don't really do the thrift store though. But truly, let me tell you why I don't do it. We was a long time, but I'm gonna bring it all back together. I don't do it because it's the going through. I don't like going through.
And it's like the smell.
I wasn't gonna say that, but Trey said it for me.
You smell all these people's houses and stuff.
Yeah, and then you gotta wash it or take it to the cleaner. like I tried it one time because my cousin she like goes in, and I'm like, I can't do it. Like it's nah. And to know that somebody else had it on for years. I'm sorry, you know, like, and you might find something with a tag. And I'm not saying that you can't, but for me, it don't work for me. So I'm gonna let that go because it don't work for me. But yeah, I'm gonna let that go. That whole, but you know, it works for some people. It just don't work for me. But the last part of this letting go that I want to talk about is how did God, you know, Jesus, Holy Ghost, all 3 of the Trinity, how did they play a role in you letting go?
Oh, brother, I gotta take the glasses off of this one.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, just my journey of walking with God alone was something that I always wanted to do, but like I felt like I needed that extra push, and I needed I was just confused. I was ignorant a lot with a lot of things. I know I always was a strong believer, but I just needed to take the extra step by being accepted by my Lord and Savior, getting baptized, just being consistent in my praise and my faith. that alone helped me let go. Just gave me strength that I never knew I had, you know. And I just, it surrounded me around people that were actually that he wanted me to be around because he know what's best for me, and not the things that felt good, but the things that were actually good for me.
Yeah.
And just putting him first, putting the Lord first, it just made everything so much smoother. And life has been great, man. I'm not gonna lie, because you never think that you can do something or you will be in the position that you're in until like you go out your way and do things. But in all totality, I had to give all credit to God because I wouldn't be here or do anything of those things or even have a second chance to do that without him. So just put him first and walking the walk that he wants me to walk and listening to what he's telling me, I feel like I'm right where he wants me to be. And as far as letting go, I felt like he told me to let the people go. The people he wanted me to let go, I let them go as smoothly as I could. Like I said, I mean, I don't cut people off necessarily. I might still follow you or something on Instagram, but our relationship isn't the same as it was. But just like I said, put him first. It just made everything less stressful.
Yeah. And everything you said is spot on. But what I love that you said is putting him first and following him.
Right.
It's one thing to say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put God first," but it's the follow through, consistency.
Yeah.
Right back at it. If you're going to accept who Jesus is, you have to follow it. And I think people feel like, well, I have to be a certain way in order to follow him, but you don't.
See, that was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It took the pride out. It took the pride out of everything. It took the anxiety out of everything because I was listening to his word and not my own, not my flesh. I was listening to a higher bid, and it made things, like I said, so much easier, man. Just have some guidance and see things follow through in the way that he told me it's going to happen. So just praying for those things and seeing them come to life, it's a great feeling, man.
Because Trey used to say, how would you put it? You will always say, I don't know if I'm able to trust God. Like you would say, it's something about me. Well, I don't know if I'm able. I don't even know why he would want me to follow. Like Trey really struggled with you. And I think once you let you go and allow God to truly be God, the overseer of your life, the one who guides you, the one that you go to about the decisions in your life, then you begin to realize he can love me.
Right.
I can follow him because it's a lot more in me now that I know who made me.
Right.
And who created me. And so that was, I feel like your biggest shift of letting go was letting you go.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
I heard it here first. The battle just started though, man. I'm still letting go. Yeah. A lot of things, you know, but
we will forever be letting go.
Yeah, exactly. We always gonna be in a battle. We always gonna be something. Always gonna be wrong that we can fix. It's always gonna be a conflict. But we just gotta keep fighting and just just know that you know what's best for you. Just trust God first, because He's gonna install it inside you, and just listen to Him. He's gonna put you in the right direction. And don't look back.
Yeah. So one more thing before we close. How do you listen to God's voice more than the voice of anxiety? Because oftentimes when you're walking this journey of life, God is encouraging you over here, but anxiety, the enemy, Lucifer, whatever name you want to give it, is telling you opposite of what God is saying, right? So how do you shift that ear towards him more than what the enemy is saying that you can't do?
It's no particular way how. It's just like it's an unseen faith, man. Like if I know what he's telling me, yeah, you gotta have the unseen faith. But if you just relying on everything that you see in your life, that's gonna be detrimental for you because it's not really faith at that point. It's just I gotta see it for what it is first, and that's basically like defiance of what God wants us to do. Yeah. So He wants us to believe in Him and believe in His word and just see what He's gonna do for us. So just following that and just seeing one thing that I called out to God. I'm not gonna lie, I called to God several times. He answered, you know, and that feeling that I had, that fulfillment that He gave to my heart and my soul, I just felt like I wanted more. So just seeing how credible God was answering my prayers and just being there for me when I needed Him the most, even when I just called on Him for the little things. Yeah. It just gave me the strength to just keep going and just always follow His word. Yeah. And just, like I said, seeing the people He put around me too, and just also instilling my faith. You know, I can't do it alone. That's why we need a community. So absolutely, just all those aspects, and life has been great, man. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Just put Him first, because before that, it was just so dark and stressful, and just trying to figure out everything by myself, and it don't gotta be like that. You don't gotta stress about things. You don't gotta figure it out by yourself. You don't gotta just like be mad about things. You know what I mean? Things are going to work itself out. It's happening for a reason, and you're going to be a better person at the end of the day. So you just got to keep your trust and your faith and let go. Let go and let God put that D on the end.
That sums it up. Like, you close it. Like, the most blessed thing you said here is that you cried out to God.
Literally. And I think that was the most times when I really changed and I really, I got closer to Him. Yeah. Like, He really has to see you vulnerable for Him to really pull you in, you know? Yeah. And I'm still not done. No. I'm still not done.
None of us are. None of us have obtained. Right. We are forever going towards the mark. You know when we obtain? When we live. That's right. That's the only time we obtain. And so crying out to God. So I don't know what you got from tonight, but the greatest thing that he said is that he cried out to God and God heard him. That will make me run. Because I feel like so many of us, we feel like we don't have a voice. We feel like that we can't cry out to God. We feel like we can't talk to Him because of what you've been through or because of who have hurt you, whatever the case may be. But the beauty is God don't care about none of that. He loves you for you. I preached this the other couple of Sundays ago, that God loved you so much that He changed you from creation to child. Mm-hmm.
So I thought.
You hear me? Like, you were once just you were just a table. But then He said, I love you too much, you gotta be my child. Right. So of course I can cry out to Him. Of course I can talk to Him. Of course I can tell Him the dirt of my life. And you just said something else. He wants vulnerability.
He wants you to.
Yep. Because what is a relationship if you vulnerable and they ain't?
We just put it together right there.
Bro, I'm out.
And the first thing we talked about.
Yo, if you're not vulnerable, that puts me in an uncomfortable position that I can't truly love you because I don't know you.
Can't trust you.
I can't trust you. And so God wants to trust you. He wants to love you. He wants to be all up in your space, not to embarrass you, but to carry you. Mm-hmm. And that sums up tonight, man. I thank you. I thank you, man, for being here. He's in school. He trains everyone in America. He works full time. I mean, this dude is busy. So for you to take the time on a Monday night to step in for Elvis and to do this with me, man, I value you. I appreciate you. I ain't gonna do too much because you know we both will sit here with wet eyes, and we're not gonna do that on tonight. But I thank you, man, for just being you and being transparent, and I thank you for allowing God to mold you.
Yes, sir.
Because this guy right here hasn't seen nothing yet.
Man, I just want to say
nothing yet.
Thank you for having me too, bro. For sure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on top of your platform. This is an honor, obviously. Man. And thank you for, most importantly, letting God allow you to let me get back into your life, man. It's been nothing but a blessing, bro. And I words can't describe. And we got a lifelong to go.
Lifelong. You hear me? We got a long way to go. But
brother, man.
Yeah, I'm grateful for him. Y'all make sure, listen, if you need a trainer, his Instagram right there. Perfect timing. His Instagram is right there. Let me tell you something. He lives what he preaches. I'm telling you, who you see right here is who he is, period. Like it's no facade she's not putting on. This is truly who he is. And so I thank y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all stay tuned in. Next month we will not have the podcast because I'm getting married. And truly I'm getting married and we go on to a honeymoon, and what I'm not gonna be doing is talking. in godly language.
Don't worry, y'all. I'll take over.
I will be doing other things. Praise the Lord. And so that's how it's gonna go. But November we'll be back with our next episode. I really think me, you, and Elvis should come on.
I was already thinking about that before.
Yeah, I think that would be dope. We got to meet about it or whatever. I think that would be dope because one thing it's a beautiful thing to see men be open about their journey with God because it's possible.
Right.
It's possible, and God loves you, and He's available. So
right.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Y'all just make the right decisions when you let go, because sometimes we could let go out of emotion, like I said earlier. But just what I could just give everybody the advice to do is just pray on it. Every decision you make, ask God, is this the right thing you're doing?
Yes,
and he shall lead you or show you a way or show you things that you never even seen. And He will keep you in the right mindset, in the right mind frame, spiritually, mentally, physically. Just put Him first, and y'all stay blessed.
All right, blessings to you all. You heard it from him. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Peace.